Hey guys, it is Shell the Spiritual Warrior, and today we are discussing, give me one second, barriers to connection and communication. We are still discussing if our thoughts have feelings, but today we are discussing the barriers to connection and communication. It happens a lot, so much, happened to me for years. That goes without saying, because anytime that you don't realize that you place an emotional attachment to your thoughts, then you're liable to suffer through a bunch of shit. I'm not gonna lie, because I suffered through it. I had the thoughts, the laying awake at night like, well, what if I had said that? Well, what did that mean? Well, why did that person say that? Well, I've done that, and that don't do nothing. That doesn't do anything at all. You're just there dealing with it pretty much. So let's really talk about the barriers to connection and communication that being emotionally attached to your thoughts have. A lot of times this comes up when there's a dialogue. The dialogue could be a romantic relationship, it could be a sibling relationship, it could be a parent-child relationship, it could be a co-worker relationship, it could be a employee-employer relationship. It's in all interactions that this thing can come up. So this thing that I'm talking about is when we hear something that we don't want to hear, or we don't immediately agree with, or more often we know is incredibly true and we don't want to admit to it in the moment, or it's something, or you feel like somebody is trying to intentionally hurt you with this information. That is the thing that I am talking about, because that thing, what happens in those interactions that end, negatively, or it's a miscommunication and you just feel cut off, like the connection is cut off. A lot of times it's because whatever feeling we took from that communication, we didn't like, right? So we get too emotionally attached to the feelings of other people. And the closer they are to us, honestly, the closer they are, the more offended we're going to become. For some reason, as humans, we think that those who are closest to us should be the last ones to tell us the truth. Even though we all say that we want it. Tell me the truth. If something's going on, tell me. But that initial thing of the truth, it hurts. It's been times that I couldn't handle it. I couldn't handle it at all. It's been times that I became really upset, shut down, didn't want to have a conversation anymore, didn't want to bring it up again. It damaged the connections that I had in my life. And I see it happen. I've also been on the other side of it, where I was the person who told the truth and the other person didn't like it. So it's a two-way street. Nobody is immune to it unless they have really gotten to the point that they are immune to it. Not so much that they're immune to it, but they got to the point where they realized that their feelings about what the person said is not more important than what the person said. And that's a big one for us. A lot of times somebody will say something that's important to them, but because of our emotional state or how we took it, we can't even hear what the heck the person said, or we can't even deal with what the person said because we're so busy trying to deal with our emotional response to what the person said. And all that does is damage communication, it damages connection, and quite frankly, it makes the person who was courageous enough to tell the truth to begin with not want to do it again. Seriously. Because if they have come forth and, mentioned a part of how they're feeling, and the response was just attack or couldn't handle it or some type of emotional outburst, they really don't want to put themselves through that. So it's really up to you in learning that your thoughts do not have feelings unless you assign them feelings. Learning that process will make you a more trusted person to other people. They'll know that they can trust you with their feelings because you're strong enough to hear what they have to say and suspend your own feeling about what they said. That's necessary. We want other people to do that for us, right? So it's definitely something to learn in order to strengthen connection and communication. The worst part about constantly attaching your feelings to thoughts is that it doesn't leave room for anything different. It doesn't leave room for your own growth. If you're that hurt or triggered by something, it's because there's some truth in what was said. And if the only focus becomes, I can't believe that they said that, then where is the room for, why did that hurt so much? What did they say that was true? How can I change it so that if something like this is said again, it doesn't apply to me? I've already grown from this, or I already understand that this is a thing for me. So when somebody brings it up, I'm not surprised because I'm able to admit that this is already a thing. The largest benefit of being able to detach from the feelings and our thoughts, the feelings and other people's thoughts, is that we leave room for growth. We leave room to solve problems. We leave room to be better today than we were yesterday because we're listening. We can now hear. Before, when you attach those feelings to those thoughts and all that, you can't hear. It's like being focused on the problem and not the solution. That's the same thing as being focused on your emotional response and not how the other person is feeling or how to potentially solve the problem. So learning to detach your emotions from thoughts or even external experiences and being able to just look at them for what they are, it's incredibly helpful. It's incredibly helpful to communication. It's incredibly helpful to connection. It makes people trust you more with their feelings because they know that you can handle it. So that's pretty much what I got. I hope this was helpful. I hope that you're able to notice more, when you have a thought and the feeling that is attached to that thought. Remember, your mood is attached to your vibration. If you have a bad mood, you got a bad vibration. If you have a good mood, you got a good vibration. And the ability to control your mood, really, it doesn't come down to this one thing, but a large part of what it comes down to is realizing that you do not have to have an emotional attachment to your thoughts. Your thoughts are just thoughts. You can assign emotion or figure that out in a way that is not detriment to the process. It's detriment to the process when you just become so overwhelmed with emotion you can't even think. You're just acting off emotion. That is a detriment. You gotta pull back. You have to notice when you are emotionally triggered by whatever somebody said. And it's okay to say, you know what, I'm gonna step away for a second so I can get my thoughts together and we can continue to have this conversation. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with taking time to sort it out. Because once you go out and you say something, it's done. It's said. You can't take that back. It's already in the world. It's already in the atmosphere. So it's of extreme importance that we take responsibility for what we're about to say, and we make sure that it truly is in alignment with how we're feeling, not based off of what the person said and then how it made us feel, but really understanding where that feeling comes from, not just blaming other people for what they said. We got to take more responsibility. We got to take more accountability for what we're doing out here in communication, because it's only going to help our connection. It's only going to help us communicate at a better, higher level. So again, I hope this is helpful. I hope it was helpful when I said it the first time, but I hope it's helpful. any thoughts, opinions, reactions, whatever, please like, subscribe, bring it to me. I love dialogue. So have a good one, guys. Continue to grow, continue to love. Peace.